For a while now, the UK government has opened the pathway for foreign trained or overseas teachers to come into the country to fill in the shortage occupation. If you're a teacher aspiring to come into the UK to work, you could stand a chance to getting paid by the UK government a sum of £10,000 if you are eligible. Now, the international relocation payment is aimed at covering the cost of the following: the cost of your visa, the cost of your immigration health surcharge, the cost of your flights, housing, and other relocation expenses. The international relocation package is a grant, and you will not have to pay this money back to the UK government. If you're eligible, you could receive the international relocation package once. Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Uche Ago. In this channel, I share content about nursing, immigration updates, and fitness. If this is your first time on my channel, you are welcome. Please don't make it the last time because you would love it here. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome as well, and thank you for sticking on with me. If you're an overseas trained teacher planning to come into the UK, then this video is for you. If you're a teacher or you're related to a teacher or you know anyone who can benefit from this video, please do well to share this video to them, because in today's video, I'll be telling you about how you can migrate to the UK as a foreign trained teacher. I will be telling you the requirements. I will tell you the websites you can check out, the pathway to check if you are eligible, and I'll tell you the steps involved, as well as telling you everything I know about this pathway. If this interests you, then please keep on watching. The documents required are your international passport, your degree certificate, your transcript, your CV and your cover letter. You would need your birth certificate. You would need a proof of address, which can be your electricity bill, it can be your water bill, it can be your tenancy agreement, and you will need a QTS certificate. QTS is a Qualified Teacher Status Certificate. It's a professional qualification valued globally, and is a legal requirement in many English schools such as the UK, and most schools prefer that their teachers will have a QTS. However, I've seen on here that there is an exemption, of which I'll mention during the course of this video. You would also need your police clearance certificate, and I'll also tell you what the cost implications are involved. You would also need your reference. Your reference would include two people who would give you an academic reference and a character reference. You would need to add their email address, preferably a work email. And then you would need to find an agency, or you could find these jobs via some sites that I'll make in another video. I'll be telling you this information from the government website directly, just so I don't miss anything, okay? So on this particular website, it's talking about the guidelines to recruit teachers from overseas. And one of the important points I would like to highlight here is still about the QTS and the 4-year rule exemption. So the qualified teacher status is said to be a legal requirement in maintained schools in England. The majority of teachers in academics and free schools also have the QTS. The 4-year rule exemption, this is for overseas applicants who do not need QTS to teach in maintained schools in England. So the 4-year rule exemption, overseas applicants do not need the QTS to teach in maintained schools in England for the first 4 years in their stay in the UK. This is an exemption known as the 4-year rule. Now, in academics and the free school, there is no legal requirements for teachers to hold a QTS at any point in their employment. And to be eligible for the 4-year rule, the applicants will need to have been qualified as a teacher in a country outside the UK. You need to have successfully completed a course of teacher training recognized by the organization that regulates the teacher in the country where you were qualified. And it has also stated that if they're employing a teacher without a QTS, including under the 4-year rule, then their salary must meet the minimum requirement for a skilled worker visa, which is slightly higher than an unqualified teacher's minimum pay outside London. So the salary scale, I'll tell you the role and then I'll just tell you outside London and inner London. So the unqualified teachers, their salary scale outside London is 24,415 pounds, and in inner London is 25,831, and Scotland is over 32,000 pounds, and in Wales is over 20,000 pounds. Okay, so for the qualified teachers outside London, it is 34,514 pounds, and inner London is 36,745 pounds. So that is the salary scale. There are also different pathways with which you can come into the UK and practice as a foreign trained teacher. To find the information on how you can come into the UK to teach as a foreign trained teacher or non-UK citizen, it is in the Get Into Teaching website. So getintoteaching.education.gov.uk/non-UK teachers. Now, when you go to this website, on the top right hand side of the website, you will see non-UK citizens. When you click on the non-UK citizens, it says if you're interested in training to teach or teaching in England as an international citizen, they can help you with the next step. Okay, so if you want to come into England to teach, you can either come in to be trained to teach, or you're coming in as a qualified teacher to teach in the schools in England. And for you to train to teach in England as a non-UK citizen, you can actually find sponsors who can train you to teach you to come into the UK to teach, or you can sponsor yourself to come into the country to teach. Now, it says if you're already a teacher, you can teach in England as a non-UK qualified teacher. Find out how you can bring your skills and perspective to an English classroom if you're a qualified teacher from the overseas. So we would open this and I'll tell you the information that is involved. Now, to teach in England, if you're trained outside the UK, if you're a non-UK teacher interested in teaching languages or physics in England, you could be eligible for international relocation payments worth £10,000. From my research, I found out that the subjects in which they are requiring for you to come into the UK to teach, if you teach maths, if you teach science, biology, physics, chemistry, French, German languages, Italian, Japanese, Latin, Russian, Mandarin, and Spanish, then you are eligible to come into the UK to teach and work as a teacher. And so if you're already a qualified teacher, you don't need to retrain to teach in England. However, you would need to apply for English qualified teacher status or be able to demonstrate non-UK qualification and experience. Now, you need to show a high standard of written or spoken English. I also found out how you can prove your knowledge of English. So you can prove your knowledge of English in the following ways: by showing a passing score of SELT, and SELT is Secured English Language Test, or if you have a GCSE A level or have a degree level academic qualification that was taught in English. Now, if you studied abroad, you would need to apply through ECCTIS, which was formerly known as NARIC, for confirmation that your qualification is equivalent to the UK BSc, MSc, or PhD. Okay, having proved that your standard of written and spoken English is acceptable, then you need to pass your criminal and professional safeguarding checks. This will be organized by your employer, and then you will have a visa or immigration status allowing you to work in the UK. The next point is getting an international relocation payment worth £10,000. If you're interested in moving to England to teach languages or physics in an English secondary school, then you would be eligible for that payment. Okay, check your eligibility for the QTS. On their website, there are different question prompts that will be asked, and those questions include: you'll be asked where you got your teaching qualification from, Do you have a BSc in your teaching qualification? Now, I've tried two options. I've put in a yes and it was eligible, and I've put in a no and it was not eligible. So, in other words, you need a degree for you to get a QTS. Now, it will ask you, are you qualified to teach children aged 11 to 16? And does your training qualification state that you are qualified to teach in the following subjects: math, science, biology, chemistry, physics, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Latin, Russian, Mandarin, and Spanish? Is to ask you, have you worked as a teacher, and how long have you worked as a teacher? There's an option for less than 9 months, and there's an option for 9 months and above. Okay, so if you're already in the UK on a post-study visa, you can get a teaching assistant job, and some schools might actually sponsor you for the QTS. Okay, so when you get a teaching assistant job, along the line, you can actually ask the school if they could sponsor you. So there's a sponsored teacher trainee and there's a non-salary teacher trainee. So you'll be trained in a licensed university. If you're already in the UK and you can get into a teaching assistant job, there are sponsorships for salary teacher trainee and non-salary teacher trainee. At the end of it, you will get your QTS once your training is completed. In addition, if you have a subject specialism in languages, maths, or science, and a certain teaching qualification to teach 11 to 16-year-old from the following countries, you can use a new professional recognition service to apply for a QTS if you meet the requirements. So the countries are Ghana, India, Jamaica, Nigeria, Singapore, and South Africa. The next point is finding a teaching job in England. For you to find a teaching job, you must apply to the individual schools, not the Department of Education. You can also search for teaching jobs through government websites. So once you apply to those schools, apply to so many schools. The tips for you to get these jobs is that as part of your application, the school will be interested to know your educational and your professional qualification. They want to know your employment history, your personal statements, and your references. So your personal statement needs to cover your teaching approach, your experience, and how you would contribute to the progress of the school. If you're shortlisted, you will then be invited for the interview, and then you need to prepare for your interview. And during the interview, you'll be asked some safeguarding questions, such as if you identify that a child's life is at risk or is not safe, what would you do? So the best thing for you to do is that when you are being shortlisted for the interview for the schools, find out their mission, their vision, and also go ahead to find out their safeguarding lead in the school. So if there's a safeguarding concern, safeguarding is when a child, adult, or whoever doesn't feel safe mentally, physically, financially, or is a safety concern. So if you're being thrown a safety question about a child, let them know that you will speak to the safeguarding lead and tell them the name of the safeguarding lead. That is actually a plus for you because they know you're really interested in the school and you know who the safeguarding lead is. Once you've gotten this job, then you would apply for your visa. To teach in England, you need a visa or immigration status allowing you to work in the UK. And that is all for today. If this video was of great help to you, please like this video and please subscribe to my channel. Please put a comment and tell me what you would like me to talk about next in my video. This video was birthed from demands of people asking me to talk about jobs with visa sponsorship for teachers. So if you would put it in my comment section, that would be so helpful. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for liking. See you in my next video. Bye.